What's goody team? What's goody team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for August 18th, 2025. Gonna give everybody another 4 minutes to join. We'll start at 7:05. As always, we'll go over the pairs that you guys see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom. If you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know and we will definitely go over the pairs. Damn, bro, US30 still fucking consolidating, man. They don't want to give us the move. In the city that I'm from, hey. I said I'm on one. Hey. This could be a nice little engulfing candle in 12 minutes. We'll keep an eye on this for sure for tonight. Could be an early trade, man. We had a little bit of news today that wasn't on Forex Factory. President spoke with Zelensky, the dude from Ukraine, right? Not bugging. And as soon as they started speaking, it was around like 1 p.m. It was around this area, this big ass candle. As soon as they started speaking, price just continued to spike traders in and out of trades, just trapping traders in this accumulation phase. But again, before we could even look for a trade, I really wanted to see price give us a break of these lows to continue that push down to the bottom. Just for that news, or just because of that, I don't want to say that I'm confident that price is going to start trending down, right? Because we're still in that accumulation phase, right? We're still in this part of the chart where traders are just being trapped, right? However, yeah, my bias doesn't change, man. I want to see that valid break. If we could get this engulfing candle in 11 minutes, that'd be really good. That'll give us at least a little bit of leeway to take another trade or try to take a trade, because we haven't taken a trade yet. But it'll give us another opportunity at least to catch a small trade, right? And at this point, trading Asia session, I usually don't. Oh, bless me. Excuse me, guys. I usually don't trade Asia session. However, if I were to trade this, I'd be looking for a 19 pip stop, or a little 1-to-1 trade, a little bit over a 1-to-1. Which again, I usually don't do it, but we have this gap at the bottom. That'll be my target for at least Asia session, right? It'll give us a little bit more of a cushion once we come into the NYC session tomorrow morning and start looking for another trade. So we'll definitely keep an eye up on this. It'll be a nice little trade to start off the Tuesday trading day. So again, just gonna give everybody another minute or two here. We'll wait for people to join up. If they end up joining, them perfect. If not, oh well, they'll lose it, man. We do have a few people that watch the recording, so again, as I always say, if you guys have any questions about anything that you watched during the recording, let me know. Message me on Discord, drop the comments, or drop your questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as you guys post that, man. I'm active all day, bro, so I'm active whenever you guys are active. That's that shit that drives me crazy. Hey. It's all that I've been getting lately. It'd be nice. We got 10 minutes. Should we wait here, like these 10 minutes, so we don't forget? I'm not gonna forget. What time is it? 7:05. Yeah, 7:15. Is it 15-minute time frame? Yeah, 7:15. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll give everybody another minute here, and we'll get started. Gonna try to make this one quick tonight for you guys. I know we did a pretty lengthy weekly market breakdown on Sunday, so if you guys want to watch full breakdowns, make sure you guys tune into those Sunday sessions, man. A lot of great information on those streams. But as always, we'll go over, the daily time frame, talk about where we're at. I'm not going to do no crazy breakdowns like I did on Sunday. This will be quick, shouldn't be longer than 35 minutes. We'll go over the 30-minute time frame, update our 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, do the same thing on the full hour, do the same thing on the daily if we need to, and then we'll go on from there. 1 second. I'll give everybody another couple minutes here. I'm also checking something real quick. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. We'll get started, and I'll give everybody 1 more minute. Any questions about any pairs at all, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. We'll go over those at the end of the stream. Again, this shouldn't be longer than 35 minutes. Again, I'm not going to do a crazy stream like I did on Sunday. We'll just do the simple breakdown today. A lot of these pairs are pretty much doing the same thing, right, in consolidation. So there's really nothing different than what we talked about yesterday or what we talked about on Friday and Thursday and Wednesday of last week. So, Mr. Bashir, good morning, my brother. I'm a little tired, bro. I went to bed at like 2 a.m. last night, and then I woke up at 6 like a fucking crackhead. And then I did a 6-hour live stream session this morning. It's kind of criminal out of me, I'm not gonna lie. But I just was not tired last night. Again, going once before we get started, guys. Any questions, please feel free. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Sync my time. He said dealing with some personal stuff these days, that's why I'm not so active recently. It's all good, Mr. Bashir. No worries at all, man. Gotta take care of business, man. Mr. Kendo, welcome, welcome. Drop him, Jumpy. Hey. Oh, I be dropping them, alright. Them number 2s be dropping, brother. Damn, I really want to wait these 5 minutes on US 30. I want to see if this shit prints the engulfing candle. I don't want to miss it. I'll keep it on the timer, but I won't forget. So AU, we're in A2. I'm sorry. Let's take a step back. Already fucked up. AU, we're in level 3, right? On a downtrend. We know that we're looking for a set lower high to be made, and we're looking for a break of structure after the change of character. Price just gave us the change, which was the inducement. Came back up, and we'll see that on the lower time frames a little bit better. Right, we know that we have no continuations for the week. Yes, we know we have this daily engulfing candle, but again, this daily engulfing candle is very low probability for 2 reasons. The number 1 reason, we have just a change of character lower low, right? We never had a valid break of structure, and in the internal time frame, we have a shoulder head shoulder. So before I could even look for price to continue to go short, I need to see a valid break of these lows, right? And we still haven't gotten that yet, so I'm still going to be patient. Again, all these markups that you guys see, these are all markups that we did during the weekly market breakdown. So if you guys are interested in watching why I have this marked up the way that it is, then we'll, you go ahead and watch that the recording from Sunday's weekly market breakdown. So AU still going to be patient. I want to see that valid break. Once we get this valid break, that's when I'll be looking for a retest or a pullback somewhere in this area to then continue. However, AU, I am still not expecting price to go down. This is still a pair that I'm expecting price to give us a steeper pullback to the top side, at least to this 30-minute gap that we have here at the top, and that's when we'll start seeing price downtrend back to the previous peak lows to give us that third and final push that we're looking for in the overall trend. AUD CAD, daily time frame. We are in A1, first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on the daily time frame. Once we go down into the lower time frames, we can see that we have smaller zones of consolidation, right? On the 4 hour, just still consolidating. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation, which is good, right? This is the area where I want to start looking for price to start giving us lower lows and lower highs before I take a trade. And they made it simple for us, right? It gave us a shoulder head shoulder, so we already know, very similar to AU. What are we looking for? We're looking for that break of structure of these lows, which is the break of the shoulder head shoulder, and this is also the break of the 5-minute low. So if we could get this break, that's when we'll start looking for those continuations back down to the bottom. Right, at this point, price did give us a nice little clean drop for today, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Once we get this break, that's when I'll start trading ACAD. So for now, that's what we'll be waiting for. What time is it? 7:12. Yeah, I really don't want to miss US 30. Let's take a break real quick for a few minutes. How long do I got? I got 3. We're good. EA. EA, we're still sitting at these highs. We're in level 3 on an uptrend, right? We have level 1, first zone of consolidation. Level 2, second zone of consolidation. Level 3, and we're looking for price to reach these highs up here. Currently, when we're looking at what's happening right now, right, we know that we're trapped at these highs that we've been trapped in for the last 3 months. So again, before I take a trade to continue that push to the top side, I need to see a valid break of structure. Without a valid break, there's no trades. We had 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, gave us this 3rd day push, which was today, and then we ended up finishing on a rise drop. Now, could we be looking for a 4th day variation going into tomorrow's trading session? Absolutely. Right, it could be a good trade. However, it is still a low probability trade. Without a valid break of these highs, everything would be low probability. Once we get that break and a retest, that's when I'll start attacking these charts, going back to the top side. Cram 3 on the way, almost. Candles look butt on trade locker. I gotta see that. Actually, good call. Yeah, I don't think we'll get this engulfing. We got a minute left. Let's see. Let me open up trade locker real quick. What account am I signed into? 30-minute time frame. No, wait, no, this is a 15, right? Yeah, it's 15. Yeah, candles look horrible on the 50 on US 30 on trade locker, but it also gave us a gap. Well, it looks completely different on trade locker actually. This opened up at 6. This was a 6 p.m. candle. Yo, why is US 30 opening up at 5? I just realized that. What the fuck? What the fucky? Yeah, that's weird. Damn, now I really don't trust this candle. Why'd the market open at 5 for US 30? Am I tripping? That's kind of crazy. All right, let's give this a few seconds here, guys. Let's see what price wants to do here. Got the engulfing candle at least. Seven p.m. your time. What the fuck? Why did it open at 5? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, usually the US 30 opens at 6 p.m. my time. Oh, yeah, it's 7 p.m. my time now. Yeah. No, but I'm saying like the market opened at 5 p.m. today. It's kind of weird. And I'm gonna just this is not a 30-minute. Well, I mean it is a 30-minute gap too, I guess. Whatever. All right, let's go to EA. Let's forget about US 30 for now. Yo, that's wild. Hold on, bro. I gotta look this up, bro. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yo, that's crazy. Let's see how it reacts here real quick. What are we in the 15-minute time frame? It don't matter, man. Give me 1 second. What am I doing here? Just like you, I get lonely too. Hey, you don't know about that high note, man. Finishing up EA. Finish up EA, man. Alright, so ECAD daily time frame. We know that we are in peak high territory. Right, we're in the highest point in the market. We broke the previous peak high formation that we had. We're sitting at the higher high. Price gave us the inducement of the high of the daily time frame. On the 4-hour, it did give us a nice, I don't know why I got hiccups now. It did give us a nice break of the 4-hour time frame. However, again, the fact that we're trading at peak high, the fact that we're trading when price gave us the inducement of the high, I'm really not expecting price to give us a higher high, higher low to continue into a higher high. However, the 30-minute time frame is going to be the time frame where price is really going to tell us what price wants to do. Right? We know that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price is technically still on an uptrend on the 30-minute time frame. With that being said, if price comes down and respects these lows, then we know we could look for price to go back up. If price breaks, then we know we're going to go right back down. So I'm going to be patient with ECAD. Regardless, I don't trade when price is at peak highs or peak lows. So I'm going to skip over ECAD, go over the next one. Again, guys, it's going to be a quick session, man. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Everything we had to talk about, we pretty much broke it down in yesterday's stream. So everything that you guys see that we have drawn up here for recent times, all of that was done during yesterday's session. So if you guys really want to go back, rewatch that stream and really see what it is that we're looking for, you could always go back to that session. So EU, we know we're in level 2 on an uptrend, right? We had level 1, first zone of consolidation, and we're in level 2. Price gave us the break of the zone of consolidation, gave us a retest, higher low, gave us a higher high, and we're looking for a set higher low to be made. For EU, very similar to AU, just opposite, right? Just inverted. EU, yes, even though I'm looking for price to continue to push us to the top side, I'm still expecting a steeper pullback to be given on EU. We have a few gaps in the market. I'm not really expecting price to give us a pullback down to this gap that we have here on the 30-minute time frame, but I am at least expecting price to reach these gaps that we have here on the 30-minute time frame. Right, for price to give us higher high, higher low, higher high, it'll give us another higher low somewhere in this area to then continue that push back to the top side. So going to be patient with EU. Once again, we're pretty much trading in the higher highs that we were at previously, and then in the internal time frame, we can see that we're still trading lower low and lower high. So even though we have 2 weeks of rise again for us, I gotta mute this music, sorry. Even though we have 2 weeks of rise, am I expecting a 3rd week push to the top side? I'm not really expecting it. However, again, market structure is going to help us be able to catch these trades, right? Again, we have a daily engulfing candle. Price gave us a retest. Perfect. For me, didn't take this trade. Again, it's low probability, the fact that we're trading in these highs. And we could just see how price is reacting, right? We're in a zone of consolidation. All right, I'll go ahead and delete these old lines here. All right, so the fact that price is still in this zone of consolidation on the 30-minute, price isn't really moving from here. It just continues to tap and retest the highs and the lows. Going to stay away from trading EU for a little bit, right? Once EU gives us clean breaks, or once it gives us clean structure to one side, that's when we'll start trading. Right, so EU, going to the next one. No daylight saving or nothing. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these pairs, man. I'm telling you, shit is weird. We had a day of no net for GA. Price is just moving sideways for the last 2 days, still respecting the uptrend that we're in, higher highs and higher lows. However, GA is a pair that we are in current peak highs, right? We reached the previous peak high, push 1, push 2, push 3, and then we started the uptrend. Push 1, push 2, push 3, gave us peak high. As soon as it gave us peak high, what did price do? Started consolidating, right? So for GA, I'm not really going to be looking to take any trades on GA for now. Going to skip that, go to the next one. GCAD on the daily time frame. We are in level 3 on an uptrend. Again, we have push 1, first zone of consolidation, push 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. right? However, push number 3 for GCAD, I am expecting price to at least reach our previous peak highs that were up here. So right now, what is price doing? As soon as it gave us the first push for push 3, gave us a higher high, just started consolidating. It's just moving sideways. It came to the highs, gave us inducement candles, gave us exhaustion candles, came back down, came back up again. We're just in a zone of consolidation. So we're going to be very careful. And the fact that we're trading at the previous highs, once again, without a valid break, I can't take a trade here. Again, just think of it as structure. If you're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Do you want to look for a buy position at a higher high, or do you want to start looking for those buy positions at a higher low? Right? If you're in a zone of consolidation and price is moving sideways, and you're looking for buys, would you buy at the top of the zone of consolidation before a break of structure? Or would it be better to take a trade going long at the bottom of the zone of consolidation to go back to the top side? Right? So once you understand that, that's it. Right? The fact that we're trading at these highs, the fact that price hasn't given us a break, and now on the 30-minute time frame we can see that the trend is trying to shift down to the bottom. That's it. We already know that this is a pair that we just have to sit on our hands, be patient for the trend to start developing again, and we'll go on from there. There's a change of character, change this to red so we know that it's a downtrend, right? And we're now trading between this 30-minute high, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price came down and gave us a lower low. So GCAD, gonna wait that one out. Yeah, there's not a lot of pairs to keep an eye on for the next couple of days, man. There's really not. GJ. We're still in an uptrend, right? We are in peak highs for GJ, technically speaking, right? We're still in an uptrend as well. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And on our push back to the higher high, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation. And once again, very similar to the other pairs, guys. Right? This zone of consolidation, which is a lot easier to see on the 4-hour time frame because this is 4-hour structure, we're looking for valid breaks of the 4-hour high on the 4-hour time frame. And right now, what is price doing? It's just inducing traders. Right? Not only do we see that it's inducing traders on the 4-hour, but now we go to the 30-minute and we understand what we just talked about. Right? We're still in these zones of consolidation. So let me go ahead and delete these drawings here. Just make it bigger for us. That was a horrible line, but that's okay. 2 days of drop, today being the 3rd day again in a zone of consolidation, gave us a day of no net. Price is just moving sideways for today. No trades on GJ till we get that break. If we get that break, perfect. Then we know we could go back to the top side. If price decides to start pushing down, then perfect. We'll look for those change of characters. We'll wait for those break of structures. What happened to my line that was down here? Did we not just... Am I tweaking? Once we get the breaks of the lows, we know we could go right back down to the bottom. Right? For now, I'm still not gonna update our 30-minute structure highs and lows. I'm gonna wait for a valid break to be given. If we could get a valid break, then perfect, right? We'll update it. If not, then at this point we do have higher high, higher low, higher high, change of character, lower low, and then price here gave us nothing yet. We're still trading between this high over here and this low, technically speaking, on the 30-minute. But I do want to see a valid break of these highs before we could continue that push to the top side. So again, for GJ, very similar to the other pairs, just got to be patient, wait it out, wait for price to do what it has to do, and then we will go on from there. For GU, what is this that I have here? Okay, cool. I'm not tweaking. For GU, very similar to EU, pretty much the same exact situation. Right, in GU, we are in level 2 on an uptrend. Again, this is push number 1, right? Level 1, first zone consolidation. We had the break, higher high, higher low. Price went up again and gave us another higher high. Right, so GU is one that looks a little bit better than EU when we're looking at the EMAs, when we're looking at the pullback, when we're looking at where the higher low was set and how price is reacting into these areas. The only thing I don't like about GU, there's 2 things. The number 1 thing is that we have an internal shoulder head shoulder that price did give us a valid break of structure of, and this is a lower low going into a lower high, right? And when we go down to the lower time frame, once again, when we're just looking at structure on the left hand side, what did price do? Right, it's giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, and once price reached these highs, we got inducements, we got exhaustion candles, And now when we go down to the 30-minute time frame, we can see that price started that downtrend. Once we got the exhaustion candles, the inducement candles of the 4-hour highs up here, price started downtrending a little bit. Right now, however, on the 30-minute time frame, we are still technically uptrending. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price is still trending in that higher low. So once again, for GU, just going to be patient. I want to see clean break of these highs to then continue, or this is where we're going to start looking for the aggressive trades, right? If price gives us an inducement of the low, or gives us a if price respects the lows, this is where we'll start looking to take our trades to go back to the top side. Or this is where price is going to break to go back down to the bottom. So for GU, we just have to wait for price to develop a little bit more. Definitely should be an interesting NYC session going into tomorrow. For NZD USD, we just have 2 days where price is moving sideways. Again, very similar to the other pairs, guys. Very similar. Right, we have a shoulder, head, shoulder. Let's start from the top. Right, daily time frame, where are we? We're in A2, we're in the second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. Once again, we had push 1, level 1, first zone of consolidation, level 2, second zone of consolidation, and we're looking for that level 3 push to go right back down to the lows, which is the previous peak low that formed when we started the uptrend. Right? We know that we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We know that this is not the best spot to take a trade. Once again, as I explained earlier, when you're looking for shorts, are you looking to take a short at the bottom of the zone of consolidation or at the top? The only time you want to take a trade at the bottom of the zone of consolidation is if you have a break and then the retest to then continue back down to the bottom. When we go down into the internal time frames, right, once we go lower, go to the 4-hour time frame, we know that price is just, doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, we'll turn off the session breaks here. Right, we know that price is just in a 4-hour zone of consolidation, and the exact same thing. We're in the bottom of the zone of consolidation on a downtrend. This is not the best place to look for a trade, right? Another key thing to look out for, which is what I was going to say earlier, is again, we have a shoulder, head, shoulder. The market makers are making this very simple for us. Very, very, very simple. Why? If price gives us the inducement of these lows, the way that it did yesterday, the way that it did today, right towards the end of the session, we know that price is just going to continue to push to the top side. If price gives us a break of these lows, then perfect. We know we could look for the break of structure, lower low, look for a lower high, look for that pullback to then continue that downtrend push. Right? For NZD USD, just got to be patient, wait it out just a little bit longer, and then we will go on from there. US 30, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, right? Daily time frame, we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We also reached our previous highs that we had before, where price rejected highs, went low, went back up, rejected highs, went all the way back down to the bottom, came back to the top side, and it's still just giving us inducement to the highs. We still don't have a valid break of these highs on the daily time frame. Same thing on the 4-hour time frame. We have no valid breaks up here. Without a valid break of the highs, I cannot be looking for long positions. And now on the 30-minute time frame, we know that we had higher high, higher low, higher high, price then went down, gave us a lower low change of character back down to the bottom, right? So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs. Then price did give us a change of character back to the top side, right? Price came up, gave us a change of character to the top side. So technically speaking, we are now trading between these highs. Oh man, what did I do there? And again, all of these markups are from what we did yesterday in the weekly market breakdown. So if you guys want to watch that, to just kind of understand why I'm looking at these zones, go watch the weekly market breakdown that we did yesterday. Price gave us a day of drop. It gave us a second day of drop today, but price did open with a gap to start the week, so it does reset the trend. And we also have a gap that opened up for today's market, right? We also have the same thing as the other pairs, a shoulder, head, shoulder. So again, the ideal situation to take a trade here would be once price breaks the lows of the shoulder, head, shoulder to then continue back down to the bottom. That would be the ideal situation. However, looking at how price is reacting, looking at these gaps, could we look for an earlier trade? Most likely. But again, gonna be patient. I'm not gonna force any trades that I don't have to. We do also have 2 days of drop. Could we be looking for price to give us that third day push back down to the bottom? Absolutely. Absolutely. Style, this is red. So going to be very, 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 very patient with US 30. Could be a good one going into the NYC session, man. I hope that it gives us an opportunity tomorrow. That would be a very ideal situation. I want to check something, bro. Like, I'm so amused, bro. Like, why did this open at 5 p.m.? You know what I mean? All right. So that's the US 30 breakdown. We'll wait for that to develop a little bit more. USD CAD, USD CAD, right? USD CAD it's man, USD CAD is definitely a pair, man. I will definitely say that, right? So overall, we know that we're still technically on an uptrend, right? Technically, we're still on an uptrend because we are still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, and again, technically speaking, this is a higher low. However, price has already given us the 3 pushes that we're looking for. Push 1, push 2, push 3. Price gave us the push back to the previous peak highs. So again, could we start saying that this is the start of peak high and this is push 1 to the downtrend and the first zone of consolidation is here? Absolutely. All our rules are being followed when it comes to what we're looking for the trend shift from an uptrend to a downtrend. Everything is following suit. However, once again, the fact that the daily time frame is still uptrending, that's the only thing that I'm still uneasy about. Right? It's something that could we still trade? Absolutely. Look for our rules. Our system is always going to be played out. Right? However, I want to make sure that whenever I take a trade, I am trading with the direction of the trend. I am not one to trade counter trend. That's just me personally. I know a lot of people don't understand that, especially in the trading community. A lot of people just take buys and sells. It doesn't matter. If their buys is incorrect, the first trade, they'll take another trade going the other way. I don't do that, right? Whenever I look at the charts, I want to make sure that I say, okay, cool. We're in an uptrend. I'm only looking for uptrend pushes on this pair. Perfect. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So the fact that right now USD CAD is just on a question mark as to whether or not we're going to continue this downtrend, that's the only thing I don't like about it. However, I'm treating it the exact same way. We're in a zone of consolidation. Let's say we're looking for longs, right? We're in a zone of consolidation. What am I looking for? I'm looking for price to break the top of the zone of consolidation. It's that simple. If price gives us a break at the top of the zone of consolidation, then we know we're going to go back to the top side. Then perfect, right? We already know, okay, cool, we get a break. We'll wait for the retest, and then we'll start looking for the entry to go back to the top side, right? Even on the 30-minute structure, 30-minute structure is not really there for USD CAD, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a lower low down here. Price never broke these lows, and then it gave us a higher high, just clean trends to the top side. None of these are valid pullbacks on the 30-minute time frame. All of this is just part of the same trend, right? So the fact that we're trading in such a big area, and we could see that price is in a 30-minute zone of consolidation, this is just another reason, right? So again, before I even take a trade, I need to see price break these highs. If price doesn't break these highs, then I really have no entries for USD CAD, right? No entries for USD CAD. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do here as well, I should have done this earlier. I don't know why I just thought about it, but looking for price to break these highs. Give us a valid break. Did we get a break? Nope. Almost. Almost. But not quite. Still inducing the highs. Change this to green so we know we're looking for an uptrend. And we had a day of drops. So USD CAD still has a little bit to go, man. Would have loved to have gotten that valid break on the 30-minute time frame. That valid break of these highs would have been crystal clear, right? We would have definitely been looking for a trade here. Now, I'm not even gonna go into what I was just gonna say. We'll go to the next pair. USD ZAR, right? Pretty much what we were just gonna say on USD CAD, USD ZAR did the exact same thing. Right, without a valid break of these highs, we can't be looking for trades. Even though we had a beautiful engulfing candle here, the fact that price never gave us a valid break of these highs, it just induced the highs, it tested the highs, came right back down. If you would have taken this trade, straight to stop loss. They don't care about you. Right, so gonna be patient. Once again, this is a crystal clear example as to why you have to wait for the breaks before you take a trade. You have to. If not, you're going to stop loss. There's just no other way around it. All right, so I'm going to be patient. I'm going to delete some of these drawings so it's not as clustered. Again, all of these drawings were made on Sunday's session. Make sure you rewatch that if you didn't watch it. Gold. We're almost done here, guys. Only missing 2 more pairs. Any questions, guys, so far? Let me know. Gold, we know we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market, technically still on an uptrend. However, what do we see? Daily time frame, price is in a zone of consolidation, where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows. We go into the 4-hour time frame. What is price currently doing? In a zone of consolidation, moving sideways. Price is rejecting highs and price is rejecting lows. On the 30-minute time frame, right, we could see this a little bit more clear on the 30-minute time frame. What is price doing? Rejecting highs and rejecting lows, right? We rejected highs, caught the trade, back down to the bottom. Came back up, missed these trades, all good. This happened during Asia session. I don't really trade Asia session, but do this during the NYC session, you know damn straight we'll catch that trade. Right, and again, price had given us a rejection of the lows, still hasn't given us a clean break. We're still just inducing the lows, and we could see how on the lower time frame, right, this is 1 minute structure, price started to trap traders. Gave us lower low, gave us a nice little higher high, then it came back down and gave us an inducement lower low, right? If you caught this initial trade to the top side, perfect. However, if you were trading this after Asia session and you thought that during London or during NYC that price was just going to continue that trend to the top side, price went straight to stop loss. Straight to stop loss. Right? And we have 2 days where price is just moving sideways. Right? So right now, just have to be patient with gold. Once we get the valid breaks, that's when we'll start trading. That's pretty much it. Can that be a valid bearish engulfing on BTC daily time frame? Let's take a look. Bitcoin. So if you're speaking about this daily engulfing that we have marked here, which I'm assuming because that's the only one that we have, right? Is it a valid one? When you're in the higher time frame, it looks valid, right? The initial trade, all right, so let's start from here, right? So Bitcoin, we know we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We already know that price gave us a higher high, right? Higher low. Once it reached these higher highs, it gave us a inducement, a testing of the highs. Never gave us a valid break. On the 4-hour time frame, same thing. It gave us an inducement of the high, gave us exhaustion candles, and came back down. Once this daily engulfing printed, what we had first seen here was the same thing that we seen in the last 17 pairs that we just went over, right? Little shoulder, head, shoulder. I wanted to see a valid break of these lows. Before this engulfing candle printed, we never had the valid break of the lows. We got the valid break of the lows today, actually. Was this daily engulfing valid when it was printed? No, it wasn't valid because we were still stuck in this multi-session shoulder, head, shoulder. Now that price did give us a break, wow, dude, I have so much drawn here. Let's delete some of these things. Now that we have price, when we're looking at it, let's start marking this up. Let's update this. So we had higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, then price gave us a change of character, lower low, right? Then price gave us this lower low, and price just started consolidating. Never gave us a clean break until here, until today. As soon as the markets opened yesterday, right, last night, it gave us the break. So now we know that we're trading change of character lower low, lower high, right? So I can mark this now as the lower high over here. Right? And now we're trading between that lower high and this lower low. Right? We also know that on the 1 hour time frame, we have a 1 hour engulfing candle, but we also have a 30-minute engulfing candle as well. But we do have a 1 hour engulfing candle. And in the same spot that we have that 1 hour engulfing candle, we also have a 30-minute engulfing candle. Right? So the fact that we had a shoulder head shoulder, the fact that we have the break of the shoulder head shoulder, the fact that we have the inducement of the daily and the daily and the 4 hour high, right? We have the change, we have the break, the lower low going into the lower high. This is where I'll start looking to take my trades back to the top, back to the bottom side. Right? So this daily engulfing candle, I will not say it was valid. However, these engulfing candles definitely look a lot better than the daily engulfing. I was gonna ask you about that gold trade. We got the engulfing after the inducement, but never retested it. Which what trade? The one that I don't even know where I took it. Over here? Let's take a look at it real quick. Definitely got the inducement. We definitely got the retest. What are you talking about? Yesterday. Oh, I didn't take a trade yesterday. Yeah, we went over that one already. That's why I was like kind of I don't know what engulfing candle you're talking about. Where, what time? You gotta let me know what engulfing candle you're talking about. What time frame? What time was it printed? Cause like gold yesterday, we wouldn't even be looking for a trade. I got you by the way with the trading journal. I'm gonna have to switch it up from Gmail to somewhere else because they sent me an email saying that I need to pay for Google Sheets. I'm running out of space or my storage is full, so I can't even edit anymore. You have it though. You want me to send it again? I sent it to your Discord. Oh, Mr. Adrian posted something in the Discord. Let's take a look at that. Took the short today on EU exhaustion candles and inducement of the highs on the 4 hour, 30-minute engulfing down retest. Then re-entered on the next 30-minute engulfing candle. Let's take a look. Okay. First engulfing candle could have worked. Could have been a nightmare. Because that wasn't a valid engulfing candle because it printed as a doji candle. That first green candle printed as a doji, but a beautiful, beautiful entry. Right? So you took on the 30-minute time frame, right? Our brokers look a little different, right? See, my chart didn't even print an engulfing candle, right? My chart wasn't even a valid engulfing candle. So you want to be very careful. Again, like your trade here, right? You took this one. Yeah, you have a green candle. I have a red candle. So you want to be very careful with that one. Then you have another 30-minute engulfing here. Yeah, this one was perfect. This is the one that we were seeing this morning. Um, but again, I don't trade going counter trends, so. But yeah, this re-entry here on that second entry was beautiful, Adrian. Very, very beautiful. That was a great trade. Alright, let me go back. We had a 15-minute engulfing, but never got retested after the inducement. So it was last night. Oh, this one right here. Got you. Yeah, yeah, I just never retested it. Did you have a question about it? Yeah, price printed that engulfing and then just went straight up into profit. But again, gold, I'm really not interested in trading gold in these areas, like at all. Like unless I get a break, right? For me to look for buys on gold at this point, I don't even want to look for buys at the bottom. I really want to just see price give us the break of the top. Would you have taken it without the engulfing? No, no, no. Not on gold. Not in these areas. Yeah, no. I wouldn't be looking to take trades right now on gold because again, where are we? We're in the no trade zone. No trade zone. Word to Ray Shremmerd, man. Middle of the zone of consolidation. Right? Outside of peak high, outside of higher high, we're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. So, no, I wouldn't have even thought about taking that trade. Gold, I'm going to be very patient before I take trades on gold for the next couple days. Again, unless something is crystal clear, and I'm talking about crystal clear, I'm not taking none of these. Not taking none of these trades, regardless of everything else. Let's say we weren't in the middle of the zone of consolidation. Let's say that, this wasn't on a trend, right? Would I have taken this trade? The number one thing that I'm looking at is the EMAs. Since we don't have an engulfing candle, what else are we looking for, right? We want to see the EMAs. We want to see lower time frame structure. And again, in the 1 minute, where we're looking at this on the lower time frame, all we had was the inducement. We don't have a change of character break of structure to the top side in the 1 minute. We don't have the bounces of the EMAs. We never had the crosses of the EMAs either, where we want to see the 50 above the 200. We never got that at these lows. That started happening already after the fact, right? So yeah, no, that answer is just no. I wouldn't have even taken that trade, regardless of everything else that we just talked about. Just based on market structure, based on how the EMAs were looking, how price was moving, the structure on the 1 minute, I wouldn't have taken this trade regardless. And then the last pair for the night, US oil, guys. Again, any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. US oil, we are in level 2 on a downtrend. We have level 1, first zone of consolidation. We have the break of structure of the first zone of consolidation, lower low, lower high. And now we're looking for that level 2 continuation back down to the bottom. We know that on the lower time frame, we were in a zone of consolidation. We finally got the break lower low, and now we're looking for a lower high. I am expecting price. We do have a 4-hour engulfing candle, right? We want to make sure that we're looking for a lower high and start looking to take trades at the lower high. Once price gives me a retest of this 4-hour engulfing, once it gets into this point of interest, this is where I'll start looking to take my trades to go right back down to the bottom. Right, so we still have a little bit of more waiting to go for US oil before we take a trade. Right, we had a day of drop yesterday, and then for today, price ended up giving us a day of no net, just moving sideways. And that's pretty much it, right? The good thing about oil, we're still making lower low, lower high, lower low. Gave us a lower high, went back down to the bottom, but never gave us another lower low. It's just testing these lows, right? It looks like price wants to go back up to the highs. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Any other pairs you want me to go over real quick before we finish off the night? Let me know. If not, then we will be done for the night. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session at 7 a.m. Um, my bad. I was just responding to the people in Discord. Mr. Agent, what's good, my brother? US oil is the same as WTI. Yes, it's the same chart. Yes, yes. Nothing much left. Thanks and have a good sleep. Thank you, Mr. Bashir. Likewise, my brother. I know it's like 2, 3 in the morning for you, so I hope you have a good rest of your night, my brother. Um, but yeah, Adrian, WTI is US oil. And let me know if you want me to go over that EU chart. What I responded to it in the Discord, but if you want me to do it here, I can. But what I was saying here, so you could keep an eye on it, right? That first engulfing candle that you have on my chart, it didn't even print as an engulfing candle. It actually did completely opposite, right? It printed as a red candle. This one right here. Sorry, not this one. This here, right? So comparing it to what your chart looks like. Open link. Right? Notice how, okay, yours printed green. However, that green candle is a doji candle. Right? The fact that it printed as a doji candle, it doesn't make this a valid engulfing candle. However, the execution was beautiful. Right? Because of everything else that was playing. Right? We know that we have the inducement to the highs. We know we have exhaustion candles at the highs. Right? If you go down to the lower time frame as well, you do have a change of character. Right? You had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave you a change of character, lower low, lower high. Then price gave you a break of structure, lower low. Notice how if we were to add, like, this is why this is very, very important. And this is why you have to wait for those change of characters and break of structures. Right? Notice how as soon as price gave you that break of structure, what did price do? Right? And again, this is nothing new, right? You already took the trade, you already seen how it reacts. As soon as you go into that retest of the engulfing candle, you're going straight into profit. There's no doubt about it, right? So again, you had higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Then price gave you lower low, change of character, lower high. And where did you get the valid lower low, right? This first red candle is not the break. The valid break happened over here, right? Printed the engulfing candle, gave you the retest, straight to profit. Beautiful trade. Definitely a beautiful trade. The only thing again that I would say is just make sure that when you're looking at the engulfing candles, make sure that it's not a doji candle. If it's a candle that has a small body and has these wicks, right, a small body like this, you know it's not a valid engulfing. But if it prints like this, where you have a body, you have the wicks on each candle, you have a beautiful engulfing retest, you could take this trade 10 out of 10 times. And every single time it'll be a winner. Every single time. I guarantee you that. And if it doesn't win, I'll pay you back. Yeah, print is so different. Yeah, that happens on different servers, which is kind of unfortunate. On the 1 hour engulfing you talk on BTC, yeah, the doji is invalid, agent. On my chart, the first green candle has no wick. Is that still valid? Um, it would really be what your server is, right? So just based on my back test from, because when we switched over from MetaTrader to TradingView, the first thing I did was backtest each server, right? Which is why you see that I'm very anal about the server that you guys are on, right? So if you're not on the Coinbase server for Bitcoin, you're already on the wrong you're on the wrong server. But yeah, on my 1 hour, right? Or sometimes as well, sometimes it could be a very small wick, and you just have to expand your trading view. So all you want to do is like click on the numbers over here on the price, click on it, and just drag it up, right? And then now you can see the wick a little bit better. That does happen as well. So maybe your server has the wick, it's probably just a small wick, right? Zoom into it as much as you can, whatever is comfortable, and then just expand the chart, right? And then you'll see the wick. So maybe that's what's happening on your server, but if you want, you could tell me what server you're on and I could add it real quick. And then we could look at it. I mean, US 30 does not want to give us that push, man. I just want to see price push, man, so it give us that break and then we could fucking finally start looking for trades. That's all I'm looking for right now. I want to take one US 30 trade by the end of the month, man. Just one. I just want to take one US 30 trade. Let me know, Mr. Bashir. Again, any questions from anybody else? Let me know. Any other charts you want me to go over? Any questions you guys have? Let me know. Um, all good, brother? Alright, Mr. Adrian. Hope you have a good rest of your night, my brother. I don't know if Mr. Bashir is still in here, but I'll give him another minute. If not, Mr. Bashir, if you want to message me on Discord what server you're on, I'll do that research for you, and I got you. I lost connection. All good, Mr. Bashir. What's good, Muhammad? Here, what's goody, my brother? Nah, I was just asking Bashir if, all I asked was what server you were on for Bitcoin, because that could be the reason. But I was also explaining that maybe you do have the wick, right? But maybe you might just have to zoom in if you haven't done this yet. I don't know, right? Because you can see that on here it looks like it doesn't have a bottom wick, right? If you zoom into it and just expand the chart, if you click on the price and just expand it and you move it up, you click it and then you move it to the top side, you can see that there's a wick. So if you ever seen an engulfing candle and it looks like it doesn't have a wick, before you say it doesn't have a wick, just make sure that you expand the chart or you zoom into it, and then you'll most likely see the wick. If the wick isn't there, then you know it's not a valid engulfing candle. But you could also be, again, it could be because of the server that you're on. So that might be the biggest reason as to why as well. If you're not on the Coinbase server for Bitcoin, then switch it to the Coinbase. That's the server you want to be on when you're looking at Bitcoin. I zoomed but no wick at all. Yeah, then it's definitely the server that you're on. What's the watch list for today? Honestly, not a lot. Nah, I don't really have anything for the watch list. Like Bitcoin looks good because we have a change of character and a break, and we have these engulfing candles at the lower high. So Bitcoin could be a good one to keep an eye on. Um, USD CAD again could be a good one to keep an eye on, but I'm not really 100 on this one just yet until we got a break. But a lot of these pairs, we're really waiting for the breaks to happen. US 30 could be a good one too. We have a 15-minute engulfing candle here that prints, and we have these gaps at the bottom. We have 2 days of drop, looking for a third day. Only thing I don't like about this trade is that we're trading the shoulder head shoulder, and we still don't have a valid break of the low. So this one would be a little bit like an aggressive trade to take, especially for this 372, but could be a good one to keep an eye on for. Outside of those two pairs, there's really nothing left, right? Everything else is doing the same thing, right? NZD USD is stuck on a shoulder head shoulder, waiting for that valid break before I take a trade. GU, we know we're in peak high, right? We're in good points of interest to start looking to potentially look for a trade. GJ, we're stuck at the highs in the zone of consolidation. GCAD, we're in peak high territory. GA, similar, same thing. EU, same thing as GU, right? We're stuck in the zone of consolidation. ECAD is in peak high territory. EA is waiting for price to break these highs on the daily time frame. So again, it's pretty much just across the board. We're waiting for the same thing for a lot of these pairs. ACAD, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation, but it could be a good one because we're at the top of the zone of consolidation on the 30-minute. But again, same thing as the other pairs. Shoulder, head, shoulder, waiting for a valid break of these lows before I take a trade. And then AU, same thing. We have a shoulder, head, shoulder, waiting for price to give us a break of these lows before I take a trade. So there's really nothing on our watch list as of right now. So tomorrow morning, we'll have a little bit more data tomorrow morning once we wake up for the NYC session. But when I tried another server, I saw the wiki. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be the biggest thing. Make sure that you're on the right servers when you're looking at these pairs. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll give you guys another 2 minutes. Any questions in the chat? Anything at all that you guys want me to go over again? Any questions? Any pairs that you guys took? Any trades that you guys took today, let me know. And we could go over those if you guys want me to. If not, once again, we'll be done for the night and we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Let me know, let me know. Good night, Mr. Bashir. We'll see you tomorrow, my brother. 30 more seconds. Muhammad, you good? I know you joined a little late, but if you want a couple more seconds or not a couple more seconds, you want a couple more minutes, if you want me to go over something, let me know, my brother. I don't mind. I'm a fiend for the charts, man. I'm on this shit all day, trust me. All right, no questions in the chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.